Today, we are talking about the grocery budget mistake that's keeping you poor and how to break free. We've been doing these grocery audits, and I've been noticing a recurring pattern and a recurring theme. And then I noticed people talking on different social medias, Facebook, whatever. And we kind of were like, okay, we really got to talk about this because this is where the problem is. And I'm going to read you some of the comments from Facebook when we announced today's show. Here's some of the comments that we got. Amy says, I love your buyout, the rock bottom prices for what your family eats and keeps a pantry and cookout of what you have. Grocery shopping is to restock what you use. We have saved her money and she loves our cookbooks. Thank you, Amy. Up to 40% off right now for our Christmas sale in the description below. But here's the next question. Here's the next comment. Kathy says, this is kind of BS. Groceries are expensive. Bills are expensive. It's hard to budget adequately when there's not enough money coming in for everything that has to go out. Making it our own fault for being poor is some victim blaming BS. Most of us are working at least 2 jobs just to be able to scrape by.
Oh, I'm weeping for you.
Well, so there's 9 other people who gave a thumbs up and we're weeping for her. And this other lady says, yes, it's bad out here. And I say, then you need to get a better job. And she says, well, I have 2 jobs. It is still barely enough. Wages should increase accordingly to the rising costs of living. They don't. Wages have increased. They just increased minimum wage for half the country. It's not federal, right?
I don't know.
I don't think it's federal. But like a lot of states just really stupidly increased the minimum wage to $15. And that's part of the inflation problem is because they have increased the wages. So we are victim blaming her because she's a victim of these how
terrible for you.
High prices. Then Irene says, really appreciate the great recipes and advice. It isn't always easy to stick to that budget, but definitely doable. Be prepared and creative. And then Pat says, no one can budget these days because food price just keeps going up, up, up. And I said, sure they can. You just don't want to. Now, what do you think about them cookies?
I think them cookies are pretty awesome.
So, do you think we're all a victim of the rising prices, dear?
Well, I mean, I think the rising prices are from bad decisions. And a lot of the bad decisions, a lot of people are actually demanding things that cause those bad things to happen. Like, for instance, the raising the minimum wage. You know, minimum wage wasn't intended to be your job, your career for your whole life. You're supposed to learn things from that and then find a job that pays better. And there are so many of them out there. And right now they can't even get people to do all those jobs. But if you demand the minimum wage is raised, then you pay high school kids $20 an hour. And that means that when you go to McDonald's, it's going to cost you $12 now instead of $4.
Or $16, like someone sent me a video the other day. But the guy still bought it. A viewer sent me a TikTok or something, or I don't know, whatever it is, reel something, about this guy at McDonald's hollering about the price of a $16 meal, and yet he still bought it. He still bought it. Now, I get there are rare situations where, you know, you're kind of stuck and you can't take your lunch or whatever, but this guy looked like he was just a construction worker just for his afternoon lunch. And I know construction worker after construction worker who does not pack their lunches and goes to eat every single day to the tune to $15 to $20 for every single lunch. You could make a lunch at home for $1, $1.50 and take it. And so Mike and I were talking about this, and if I would have gotten that $16, I would have said, no thanks, I ain't paying $16 for a meal. First of all, how do you order something and not know what it costs?
Yeah.
How many times have you gone and bought something and not known the price at the restaurant or whatever?
Well, I've occasionally ordered something, and when they say that'll be $97.42, I'm like, whoa, yeah, I don't need it that bag. Sorry.
But you didn't buy it.
No.
And so we were talking about this, and we were like, okay, the prices have gone up. Yes, they have. I totally get that. Groceries, I would say, have gone up about 20% over last year, even with saving money. But let's say you're spending $400 for a family of 4. That's an extra $100. That's an extra $25 a week. Now, I get electricity has gone up, gas has gone up, everything has gone up. I get that. But here's the thing. For the true necessities, on the very high end, they have only gone up $300 to $400 a month on the very, very high end. If you don't have $300 to $400 a month wiggle room in your budget to help with that, higher gas prices, higher heating costs, higher electric costs, higher food, higher car insurance, all that. If you don't have enough in your budget for that amount of wiggle room, you don't have an inflation problem. You have an income problem. And it's not going to do you any good to sit there and whine and gripe about prices when you're not increasing your income. And it is very doable now. This is not the 1920s depression by any stretch of the imagination at all. At all. And so we're going to be talking about this just a little bit because we
that's not the one thing yet either.
Yeah.
Although one thing I would say, it is true that prices are going up, and it's kind of annoying that they are. But the thing is, if you can't control it, then work with what you can. But a lot of people that are complaining about the prices going up were demanding that the government do things that the government did, and that caused the prices to go up.
Obamacare. Hey, all you guys who wanted free medical.
Well, also
there you go.
I forgot what all those billion or $1 trillion money things that they passed for that one that was, I forgot what it was called.
The Inflation Reduction
Act that had nothing to do with inflation. Those things, when the government just pulls money out of nowhere, that causes inflation because money's value is based on how much money is out there compared to how much stuff is out there. So if suddenly there's a lot more money, then the money is worth less because there's still the same amount of stuff for it to buy.
Yeah.
And I know that's really hard for people to understand, but that's why when you say, wow, what is that in 1980 dollars? That's because in 1980 dollars were worth more because the government hadn't inflated it as much as they have now. So those kinds of things are decisions that people make when they vote, and then they complain about it when they spend. But for those of us that don't vote for those things, we still have to figure out how to make it work where it is. And it's interesting. Are we going to do that other show sometime soon?
The 1947? Yeah, Wednesday shows 1947 prices compared to today's prices.
We were looking at that, and it's very interesting to see how much people actually paid compared to incomes and expenses and the value of the dollar back then.
Yeah.
So
okay, so before we get on to this and give you guys some solutions, one solution is our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, 40% off right now, only happens twice a year on Black Friday for Christmas, and then Mother's Day, Volume 1, if you're going to start anywhere, Volume 2. Volume 1 has all our basic recipes. Don't be going buying taco seasoning. Don't be going and buying bone broth. Those are basically free foods that you're buying. You don't need to be buying any of those. Our gluten-free, dairy-free edition right here, if you're gluten-free, dairy-free like me, and our price book. Did they come today?
I don't know.
Okay, they are on the way. But our price book right here to help you keep track of prices so you can always buy rock bottom prices. Or Get It Together, daily planner, undated, 400 pages, 365 days. You guys can see the inside pages of all of our book on our ordering page in the description below. Also, all of our ebooks are 50% off. in the description below, because we know we can't ship outside the US. So we know a lot of our European friends really really like our books, but we can't ship them. So we put them on sale for you guys.
Well, and actually, it's really cool if you make your own things. I mean, I hear people talk about it like, oh, it's like it's some kind of, it's beneath me to make my own things. But I'm thinking if you make your own things, instead of spending $12 to $15 for lunch every day, you spend maybe $2 for lunch every day. And that's possible. You just have to be okay with not eating out all the time, or not buying convenience store stuff all the time.
Danielle says, we are nowhere near what people suffered in the Great Depression. Unfortunately, people cannot handle going without the same way people did back then. We are not as tough. Danielle just hit my point that I'm going to make that nail on the head. She just hit it on the head.
We're going to be looking at some of that. It's not really depression, but we're going to be looking at some of that
on Wednesday's show. But we're actually talking about a similar thing this evening. And so what have we noticed with the grocery audits and comments from people? We have noticed phrases like, I don't like X, so I have to buy only this one. This one, insert name brand product, is the best tasting one. I just want it. It's a treat. Well, they won't eat X product in store brand.
That's fine. They can buy it.
All right. So what we're noticing is, and people aren't going to like this, but the reason why you can't afford your groceries is because you're spoiled. You know, when you go and look at true necessities, this is going to be a Tara rant tonight. I'm sorry, but it just is. When you look at true necessities, what are true necessities? True necessities are food to sustain life. Beans, rice, flour, a little bit of sugar, a few baking items, eggs, bread. Those will sustain life. If you purchased the foods like they did in the Depression just to sustain life, it would probably cost you about $100 a month to feed a family of 4. Everything else is junk you're buying that you don't really need, not truly need. They are all wants. The majority of the population of the world does not eat the foods we eat. They're not buying pre-made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. How lazy can you get?
Most people don't even have the peanut butter.
They're not saying, oh, well, my kids won't eat that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Mike and I were talking until about 30 years ago. There was not pickiness, not like it is today with food. You ate what was served. Well, maybe 40 years ago. And so we've been noticing with these grocery budgets, it's the Keurig pots. It's the Dunkin' Donuts coffee. After all of you guys were talking about the Dunkin' Donuts coffee, I went and bought some for Mike for him to try. He said it is great and he loves it. But you know what? If we didn't have the money to be buying it, we wouldn't be buying it.
And there's a day when we didn't. I mean, there was a time where we just didn't have the money and we didn't buy stuff. Well, where I really noticed the whole thing was when we were talking, when Tara mentioned the Canadian grocery prices, a lot of people were talking about all the taxes on food. And Tara said, I looked and there were no taxes on food. And people were saying, well, that's just basic groceries. Yeah, but basic groceries are groceries. Everything else is convenience. So it's fine if you have convenient stuff, if you can afford it. But if you can't afford it, or if it just makes you want to complain about it all the time, then you should maybe think about the basic groceries. Because what's funny is you go to a fancy restaurant and they give you all this amazing, what looks like amazing food. Then you go and you make something yourself, like out of the Dining on a Time cookbook. Actually the homemade stuff is better and it costs a lot less.
We have a hard time eating out because the restaurant food
it's really not very good.
Awful.
And you're making amazing tasting food with basic groceries. The main thing is you're not paying for the convenience of having your butler cook it for you. And I say butler because people think, well, all those rich people are getting all this swag. But no, the rich people, like if you go to Starbucks all the time for your coffee, or if you go to fast food a lot, or if you buy any convenient stuff, you're paying other people to do things that you could do for less. And it's okay to do that sometimes. It's just, if you do that all the time, you're going to completely sink yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Mike and I were talking about this, and we were like, the problem with people's grocery budgets is they're just buying stuff that isn't necessities, period. And until you can get it through your head, I don't have an inflation problem. I have a food snob problem. And I just want these items. And that's fine. That's totally fine. If you want to spend $1,000 a month on your grocery bill for 4 people, because you just want those foods, that is fine. But don't sit there and complain that prices are the problem. Now, I am not in any way, shape, or form giving the current administration a pass for the way they have completely slaughtered our economy. It started with Obama. As soon as Obamacare passed, I knew we were toast. That was it. I knew it happened. It didn't happen as fast as I thought it would, but it happened. And now they're just finishing the job. And I get that. I will say things have probably, I don't care what they say, things have gone up about 20% in 2023. I told you guys when I started seeing inflation actually happen, I would tell you. And it has been happening in 2023. But you still make the choice to buy the Crustables, to buy the fancy coffee, to buy the Keurig pods, to buy the pre-made pizzas. I'm all for pre-made pizzas. I don't have a problem with pre-made pizza, but you can make homemade pizza for cheaper than pre-made. Most of the time, not always, but most of the time. And we got a comment, Tara, you're a genius. Let's just leave that comment right there, shall we? Can we just rest on that for a moment? Would you like to say it out loud, dear?
You're a genius.
One more time.
You're a genius.
Okay, maybe just once more.
You're a lovely genius.
Okay, I'm only kidding, guys. Tara, you're a genius. I just made my first pizza from scratch. It was wonderful. I can't believe I wasted so much money over the years. Oh, well, I'm glad I found you. I have all 3 cookbooks now, pumpkin bread tomorrow, and she's losing weight. That's from Dana. Pizza from scratch at home costs about $2 to make, maybe $2. And yet, how many people come home from work because they're tired and they order takeout or delivery pizza to the tune to $50 to $75 per meal for 4 people? That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, and Tara was talking about getting an income problem, getting a better job. And there are a number of people saying, what if I'm on a fixed income? Well, the reality is the majority of the problem is Americans just want things that people didn't have 30 years ago. And it's gotten to where, with like, say, drugs. Part of the problem with people doing drugs or smoking or whatever is you do it, you get some kind of immediate rush of some sort benefit. And then the next time you need more of it to get the same amount of benefit. And kind of what's happened is people have gotten to the point where we buy something that's a special treat. And then we have to have a special treat every day. Then we have to have special treats 10 times a day. And pretty soon they're not special treats anymore. Now they're minimum groceries that we need. And so it's just a psychological thing of having expectations that aren't realistic. Like you can buy, even if you're on a fixed income, the basic food items are not that much more. Like just buying the rice and the seasoning.
If you just buy beans, rice, and seasonings, you can get by with probably $50 a month. A month.
Jill does that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, You could spend more than her and still be in okay shape, though. That's the point I'm making. But when you start thinking about those things as needs instead of wants, that's a problem. So here's a long time ago, I found myself briefly homeless. And when I got and I kind of freaked out, and I managed to get a job and a place to live pretty quick, but it wasn't making very much money. So I went to the grocery store and I walked around and I was looking, and I realized in that context, I was just thinking, what do I absolutely desperately have to have? And I realized all those things that I thought were critically important before were not. I ended up getting rice. I got those little hamburger patties in a bag because they were about the same price as the hamburger at the time, and some frozen vegetables, stuff like that. And I pretty much ate the same thing every day. But the thing is, that's pretty good food. And if you go to a restaurant, I've noticed that at the restaurants, the food isn't even that spectacular.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one is you're just being spoiled and you're buying foods that you just really don't need. This is keeping you poor. I want to say something else about okay, I'm living on a fixed income. What am I supposed to do? Okay, well, what did you do for the 40 years when you were working? Why don't you have retirement? Now, I understand there are some people who have some sort of disability or something, their whole lives, and they haven't been able to work or whatever. I understand that. But that's not the majority of people. So now you're paying the consequences for spending out the wazoo your entire life. I know there's people on YouTube on Social Security complaining about how they're on a fixed income or whatever. They were working for 40 years and they just refused to save for their retirement. And now they're in this situation. Well, you made those decisions. So now you face the consequences. And maybe, like us, you're a victim of someone else's stupid decision, like voting for Obamacare. Now, for me to get an ultrasound here in my town, it's going to cost $1,200. So now I have to drive 3 hours round trip to go get an ultrasound for $200 because in 2008, a whole bunch of people made a really stupid mistake to vote for Obama. Okay, I'm a victim of that. And it really ticks me off. But I'm not sitting here saying, woe is me, like I'm a victim here. Yeah, I'm an innocent victim of that law. But I got on the phone, I got on the internet, I posted on our chat group for our city, and I said, where can I find a cheaper ultrasound? I got to work and I figured out a solution. Yeah, am I going to have to drive halfway across the state of Wyoming to get an ultrasound? Yes, I am. Is it worth it to save $1,000? Of course it is. And so I get, you may be a victim of whatever, but there are things you can do. If you live on $1,200 a month, my mom lives on the same amount and she eats $80 worth of food a month. She's healthy. She's her proper weight. She's not overweight. And I'm sorry, but if you're overweight and you're complaining about inflation, I have no sympathy at all.
That hurts, honey. Shots fired.
Hey, if you can't take it,
get out of the studio.
Get out of the studio. I'm right there. I'm overweight. I need to lose some weight. Well, if groceries are that bad for me, then I need to stop snacking. And you're going to have to figure out how to deal with your emotions, how to eat smaller portions, and save yourself some money. The next thing is you may have to do a little bit of work yourself. We got a comment, and I tried to find the email. I save all of our emails. And this was an older one, and I lost it when I was going through to figure out what to do for the show today. And she said, I just wanted to thank you so much. I'm paraphrasing because I can't find it. But she said, I want to thank you so much. I finally made chicken soup. I always wanted to make my mom's chicken soup. Dining on a Dime, Volume 1. 40% off right now in the description below. 40% off. And you know what? Here, I'm going to even do one better for you. Use the coupon code DINING1, DINING, and the number 1, and go get the ebook for free. You have no excuses now. The ebook is free. She said, I wanted for years to make my mom's homemade chicken soup, but I was just too afraid to try it. And thanks to you, I looked through some recipes and found one that I thought might be similar. And even though I didn't have a few of the ingredients, it tasted really, really good when I was sick. Thank you so much. Chicken soup. She was afraid to make chicken soup. Stop being afraid of all these things. How many people don't make pies because they're afraid to try to make a pie crust? Mom's Pie Crust, Dining on a Dime, Volume 1. 40% off right now. Free on the ebook if you use the coupon code DINING1. livingonadime.com. It's free on our website. Just type in pie crust on our website. How many people go spend $20 on 3 or 4 pies each for Thanksgiving this last week? Or whatever, 2 weeks ago, whatever. Because they haven't taken the time to just sit down and make 10 days, make 10 pies, get a cheap pie, make a lemon pie or make a pumpkin pie or an apple pie, something that's cheap. Don't go and make a pecan pie or blueberry pie or cherry pie that uses more expensive ingredients. Which, by the way, you can still make for $5 or $6 instead of $20 at the store and taste a whole lot better. I have not had one bakery pie that has come ever close to Mom's Pie Crust. We used to know a couple of people who had bakeries, and they were just like, oh, my sugar cookie recipe is the best you'll ever have. And they brought some over to me, and I just wanted to gag. Nan's sugar cookies right here. Super easy recipes. I think if we can get it edited in time, this week's video is going to be Christmas recipes. And we're going to shoot it tomorrow. But after you guys hear what's been happening in our lives the last 4 days, we're not sure we're going to get it shot tomorrow. I don't even know if I can talk about what's been happening. Might go into PTSD. Take the time to learn how to just make a pie. It takes about 25 to 50 cents, maybe not even that much, worth of ingredients for pie crusts. Just practice. If you don't even want to make the whole pie, just practice with the pie crust, roll it out flat, put it in the, sprinkle it with some cinnamon and sugar and put it in the oven and bake it at 350 for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, just until it's golden brown. I don't know how long, 10, 15 minutes until it's golden brown. And just practice that way if you don't even want to get the ingredients for a pie. But you've got to stop whining. Sorry if I messed you up. And figure out what to do. You know, we've been watching the news about everything that's going on over in Israel with all these people in Gaza. Oh, these poor innocent people. Let me tell you, out of the, how many people live there? 3 million or something. Maybe 1,000 to 2,000 of them are actual innocent victims. They're missionaries that are there or something like that, but they have chosen to live there. And that's okay. If they feel that God has called them there to be missionaries or whatever, that is the choice they made and that is the risk that they take. But all those people living there, they voted for Hamas to be in power. So they're not innocent. They're just facing the consequences of what's happened. And the few people that are truly innocent, well, unfortunately, that's just what happens when you have a society that votes that way. And instead of all of these innocent people, instead of just sitting there whining about being innocent, figure out how to get out. It's not like Israel didn't warn them. Israel has been warned them and warned them and warned. They gave them 2 weeks. What kind of country gives a place 2 weeks before they start bombing? Seriously? I was telling you for 2 or 3 years, get stocked up on groceries. The prices aren't bad right now. It's going to be getting worse. You have got to get in and get your stuff situated, because when the fecal matter hits the oscillation unit, you need to be prepared. It's not like you haven't been warned. And now all of a sudden, oh, surprise, we have inflation. There's no surprise.
That's funny. A number of people talking about affordable care. It may be that you think that that's great, but coverage doesn't necessarily mean treatment. And the other thing is, and it's, some people get treatment, I know, but it costs 5 times as much, 10 times as much for the government to do something. And so when people don't realize, it's fine if you say, I like that, I think that's a great thing. It's fine that you like that, but that's why you're paying more on groceries. That's why you're paying more for cars. Because in order to fund that, the government has to spend money that they don't have. And when they do that, it causes the value of the money to go down, which is what inflation is. So the price of groceries isn't really going up at all. The price of the value of the money is going down. So it looks like prices are going up, but it's the value of the money going down. And that's what inflation is. And that's why inflation is bad when it's bad, period.
So you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to take responsibility for your choices. You're going to have to take responsibility for your actions in spite of the fact that you didn't choose the circumstances that you're in. You're going to have to make the decision that I'm not going to be a victim like, oh, I don't have Facebook back up, but like that lady that I first talked about at the beginning of the show, where I'm just victim blaming. Yes, I am victim blaming because you have a choice.
Well, that's not victim blaming. If you
You're not even a victim.
You label yourself a victim when you're not. Because then if you say I'm a victim, you don't have to do anything to solve your problem. Just sit and complain about being a victim. What kind of life is that? Instead of complaining about being a victim, just say, I'm just going to ignore it all and go do whatever I want. And I'm just going to be happy to pay that price. Because if you complain about it with no desire to change it, I mean, it's not going to change if you just complain about it. Other people don't care about you. The government doesn't care about you. They're not going to fix it for you. So what you need to do is figure out, okay, this is the situation we find ourselves in. You can't spend $3 for a value meal anymore. So maybe I'll do something different.
Maybe I'll take a sandwich for lunch.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pack my own chips. Maybe I'll drink water instead of soda, or bring a thing of iced tea in my thermos. Guys, Dining on a Dime cookbooks right now, this is something you can do. 40% off your grocery bill, volume 1 right here. I'm giving you the ebook for free. Use the code DINING1. If you want to see what's in it, right here, 40% off 1,200 recipes and tips. Volume 2, different recipes, just didn't fit in almost 600 pages here. This one is 800 pages of recipes and tips. Easy to cook recipes, get you in and out of the kitchen. Most recipes you will be done with prep time in less than 20 minutes. There might be some things that need to bake or whatever, but prep time, hands-on, is almost all of them are like 10 minutes. But less than 20 minutes, easy recipes with ingredients you already have that you can get inexpensively. Then our price book, guys, is 40% off also. These are what we use to keep track of prices so that you know when you're getting the rock bottom price. And you can save the most on your grocery bill. Our gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook right here. If you're gluten-free, dairy-free like me, all the recipes have been tested. No sand tasting breads or anything. Go check that out. And then our undated planner, 400 pages, 365 days. Go ahead and send me the first one. To help you get organized. It's undated, so if you skip a day, you don't lose any pages. You can just keep going.
I never even thought about that being a benefit, but we've just gotten a lot of emails from people saying, I just love it because if I forget to use it for 3 or 4 weeks, it's not wasted. I can just use the next page when I'm.
That's what drives me nuts with planners when I would get them and they're dated.
Thought about that.
Yeah, because I don't use a planner every day. I use it from January 1st to January 14th. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't use a planner every single day. So to me, a dated planner would just be wasteful. All right, put your comments and questions in the description below, guys. We will answer as many as we can. We have had a very, I don't know, how would you describe our week since Thursday?
Just been crazy busy. Sick, in the middle of things, and
So we've had a lot going on. So Mike's sending me those comments and questions, and I will get to them. And so we've had a lot going on. Thursday, we got a call. Mom got a call from her mom, my grandmother, that her brother, mom's brother, went into the hospital. He has lung cancer, and they did not expect him to live through the night. So let's see. Mike and Jack went down to Denver on Thursday to go to pack boxes for Operation Christmas Child, which you said was
awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
And then so Thursday they went to Denver. So then Friday, Mom went to Denver? So then Friday or Saturday?
I think it was Saturday.
Saturday, Mom goes to Denver to go be with Grandma. They were able to go say, my uncle's name is Jack also. And so they were able to go say, she was able to take Grandma up to the hospital, say goodbye to Uncle Jack. He has not passed away yet, although they're expecting any minute now for him to go because he's just in, really bad shape. So then I got to spend the weekend home alone. Dave was working and I got to do that. And so then, let's see. You guys got home Saturday then. Did you wave at Mom as you guys were passing on the highway?
I guess I should have been looking out for her.
No, Mom came on Friday.
No, she came on Friday.
She came on Friday.
Yeah, she did come on Friday.
Mom came because you guys came home Saturday.
I was thinking she came on Saturday and we came on Sunday, but it was the other way.
Yeah. So Mom is down staying with Grandma right now, and Mike and Jack came back, and they came back horribly sick. So sick. Jack slept 12 hours. He went to bed at 7 o'clock that night and didn't get up till, actually almost 13 hours. He didn't get up till almost 8 on Sunday morning. They're sick. And then Dave this morning, or at midnight, Jack came and woke me up and said, Mom, you got to go help Dave. Dave's got the flu really bad. He's got it really bad. So, thank you. Thanks, Kimmy. Yeah, Kimmy, if you knew half of it. And then yesterday, one of our other kids that lives in Denver was attacked. And it was, they attacked several people. And so we think they're okay. We're not sure. There was some problems breathing and stuff like that. And so we've been worried about that. Let's see. And we were supposed to go to Gillette today to get the ultrasound, and we had to cancel that. So we're just kind of like, what's going to happen? So anyway, yeah, and we're having car situations. So we're trying. So in the middle of all this, our kid that got attacked in Denver called in the middle of us going to look at a vehicle that we were hoping we might be able to buy because our vehicles are getting a little iffy for the snow that we haven't had yet, thankfully.
Well, they're working. The main one is working fine. It's just that there are 3 people driving it.
Yeah.
And right now, Jill had to take it when she left.
Yeah. So we're down to Mom's car in the truck. Mom's car isn't in the greatest of shape, and the truck is. I'm waiting for the whole side of the truck to fall off. It's making some weird noises on the side of the driver's side. I don't know what those noises are, but I'm waiting for something to just be left behind.
I was kind of hoping that if we had a little bit of calm down, like basically by saying no to doing some things. I mean, we usually say no, but some things we've just found ourselves doing. That then Jack and I would spend more time, and Dave probably too, working on the truck.
So we've just had a very long starting week. So yeah, if you guys could pray that the rest of us don't get what Dave has, because if all of us get that, oh my goodness, it's not going to be fun.
Well, Jack and I came back with something from, I don't know if we got it in Colorado or if we already had it, but
I think you had it when you left.
What Dave has is different.
Yeah. So we got 2 different sicknesses. I am on that thing that they gave everyone I'm on that medication that they gave when everyone was getting that thing going around in 2020. That's illegal. That starts with an I. And then it ends with a mermectin. So it'll be interesting to see if I actually even get sick. I don't know. It'll be interesting. So, okay. Comments came in. All right. I mean, when I lived in San Francisco Bay, California, yes, 3 jobs, but now I moved 2 hours away. We are blessed and able to afford. We live and pay off debt while in an apartment. Okay. Thank you for saying that, because this is another thing I want to bring up. Everyone keeps saying houses are so unaffordable now. Okay. So they're unaffordable. Rent. There is absolutely nothing wrong with renting. You do not have to buy a house. Yes, you can get equity built up, but let me tell you, there is a lot of expenses that go into owning a house. A lot of expenses. So if you can't afford the down payment and you can't afford the payments to buy a house, then rent. It's perfectly okay. You are doing great doing that. That's wonderful.
But something else that I thought was more impressive is that
they
moved 2 hours away. It's funny because when we lived in Kansas, we wanted to move to this one suburb of Wichita, and it was like $1 million for a house in the city of Andover. But we bought a house that was 1 mile out of town, and it was $135,000. And that's the kind of like the other stuff that Tara's been talking about, like where she called the hospital and they said it was going to be ridiculously expensive for that ultrasound, and then she called the one in the next town and it was 20% of the price. That's the same way you should do with your housing if you're feeling like you can't afford the house you're in. And we've done that. We've bought houses that were slightly beyond or in a completely different place. And I think that was the part that I thought was brilliant, because she said San Francisco, right? Yeah. Probably the most expensive place in the country, or at least one of them. And I think it's brilliant to get a little further away.
Maybe New York City might be, but yeah, I would say it's a close number 2 for sure.
But that's the kind of place where you don't have pretty quickly when you get away from it, the prices will go down. I mean, California is going to be expensive anyway, but that kind of goes back to everybody wants things, and they want the government to provide them, and that makes things cost more. So
if you guys are liking this wake up call, could you guys give us a thumbs up? Type 1 if you think I'm being too harsh on people. Type 2 if you think people need a wake up call. I'm curious. Susan, the problem is that people don't know how to manage their money, live a frugal life. Yes, that is exactly it. My grandpa growing up talks all the time about how they ate mayonnaise sandwiches. That's what he got to take to school, was a mayonnaise sandwich. 2 pieces of bread and mayonnaise. That's all he got.
flour pancakes. It was just flour and water. His mom.
Lisa and Carolyn think I'm being too hard. Am I being too hard? Everybody else thinks they need a wake-up call. Yeah. I'm sorry if you think I'm being too hard. Actually, I'm not sorry if you think I'm being too hard. I'm not going to apologize. It is about time people had a wake-up call. The thing is, Lisa says no, she meant to. All right, thank you, Lisa. But here's the thing. People have got to have a wake-up call and realize your choices matter. Yes, inflation stinks, but your choices matter. And you still have choices.
Well, the thing is that if you can afford to spend that and it doesn't really bother you and you don't have a need to complain about it, then fine. That's totally fine. But the thing is that people aren't victims if they want to have all this convenience stuff and eat out and DoorDash. I mean, all those kinds of things are heavily convenience, and you're paying a premium for it. So if I said, there's actually a food truck in town that sells cheese sandwiches. And they're like, I assume they're $6 or $8 each.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I was just thinking, cheese sandwiches are so easy to make, but people just want to pay for the convenience. And people say, well, I have to work. Okay, but you're working your job that pays you, what, $50,000, $40,000? I don't know how much a lot of those jobs, the average job pays, but you're making that much money, and then you're maybe feeling like you're tight in your situation, but then you can spend $6 on a cheese sandwich every day or something else that's like it.
Dining on a Dime Cookbook. We got like 10 or 15 ways to make grilled cheese sandwiches right here. And let's see. Suzanne says she made the creamy chicken enchiladas in volume 2, page 234. They were delish. That is
those
great.
Are really good.
Danielle says the grocery audit really helped wake her up. I just told Mike the other day, I said, I hope Danielle's not really mad at me. But girl,
you were doing well in a lot of ways.
You're really doing good in a lot of ways.
Probably better than most people.
But I think you've just given yourself a pass. Like buying the meat, buy one, get one free instead of just using the meat you already have on sale. Or the treats and more treats. Our treats, you know what Mike asked for Christmas and his birthday? His birthday's next week. Oh man. At what point are you officially old?
I mean, I'm eternal, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, good answer. You know Jesus.
Yes.
No hesitation.
This is just the beginning. The beginning of the beginning, Stephen.
You know what Mike asked for his birthday and Christmas?
What did I ask for? Underwear.
Just kidding. No, I got you new underwear. Strawberry jelly and orange marmalade.
Yeah.
Because those are treats. Because he likes the Smuckers specifically.
But they're treats. They're not. I don't deserve it.
I ask for real English tea when Mary's not sending it to me. I ask for things like what do I ask for? Like specialty jellies, beef jerky. I like, oh shoot, it just went out of my head. There was something else I thought of. What's the other things I asked for Christmas? There was something else that's really specific and I can't remember. Oh shoot, I'll remember it. But anyway, Mike asked for, actually, Wanda, Hershey's chocolate syrup and Cheerios. That's what Mike asks for.
Although I haven't really been eating it lately. And when we were doing a video recently and making the stuff out of the cookbook, it was actually better. And we have Hershey's syrup in volume 1. Really easy to make. How long does it take to make it? 5 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah. It's like hardly any time at all.
So 5 minutes would give you a chance for a cup of tea.
Yes.
In between.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be done before my tea was done.
Wow.
livingonadime.com. The recipe is right there for free, or in the ebook, Dining One. Use the coupon code for Dining One ebook. So those are treats. And it's okay to ask for those things. Like our kids, Capri Suns and the little drink juice box things, those only come on Christmas and Easter. No other time. Oh, unless they ask for it for their birthday. Water Bucket says, I've been taking my lunch for my whole career. I couldn't afford it. Thank you very much. Yes.
Well, it's funny because I recently heard someone say, oh, yeah, kids need to have these things because you can't expect them to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I was thinking, when I was in school, it's not like food wasn't available, but half the kids there had peanut butter and jelly, and the rest of them had bologna. Pretty much that was it. And they were all skinnier because it wasn't a treat every day. But we did get treats. Sometimes we'd get to buy lunch at the school, but it was cheaper than it is now to buy lunch.
Oh, yeah.
And when I say once in a while, it was like 4 or 5 times a school year.
Yeah.
We would buy food at school. The rest of the time it was peanut butter and jelly and cheese on bread.
Heidi says, thank you for your ministry. I know you sometimes get discouraged, but are making a difference in people's lives. Well, thank you.
Yes,
We've made a difference in her, and Merry Christmas to you too. She loves us, she says. Thank you. Yes, we do get very discouraged sometimes. Okay, all the time. Patty, I've always been a frugal shopper, but with price increases, I just adjust. Exactly. You have to switch up things, switch up ingredients. You're going to have to stockpile, use your freezer more. Yeah, Amelia says, what I used to get from Jack in the Box used to be about $6. It's now $20 for the same 3 items. That is crazy.
Actually, I forgot there was another point I was going to make about the food. When somebody said a lot of people don't know how, it's true. And I feel bad for people that don't know how, but if you're a person that doesn't know how, you don't have to stay there. You can learn. And that's one of the reasons why Tara wrote Dining on a Dime, is for people to understand you can actually do this. And it was funny. What was the lady said that she made chicken noodle soup?
Mm-hmm. A basically free food.
Yeah. And the funny thing is you can make stuff. And even if, say you don't know how to make it, you get a cookbook and the cookbook helps you learn how to make it. But maybe once or twice you make something that's kind of Even if you throw it away, what you've learned about making it will make it 1,000,000 times cheaper from that point forward in your life. And you'll feel more confident because now you're not thinking, I don't know how to cook. You're like, dude, I'm going to go get it. There's chicken on sale. I'm going to get the chicken and the noodles and make this chicken noodle soup like mom used to make or whatever. So, yeah. So that's what I would say. I do agree. A lot of people don't know. But if you don't know and you're an adult, that's where you should ask yourself, how can I do this? How can I learn?
You could go to Super Easy Recipes on YouTube and watch my how to make things.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to know, how old are you going to be next week for your birthday? You are going to, let's see.
749. Just kidding.
54?
Yep.
Oh. Are you really going to be 54? That was old.
It's just the beginning of the beginning.
Just kidding. I like older men.
Oh.
All right, let's see. Darlene, I just made up a big container of taco seasoning for my mother for Christmas. That's a great idea. Marilyn Monroe says, I haven't had cable for the last 2 years, haven't missed it so far. And Elaine says, cable and eating out are not a necessity. Most people don't know that. Exactly.
Not only that, but cable, every now and then if we have some reason to go to a hotel, we think, oh, there's cable here. And you know what? There's virtually nothing on.
Yeah.
It drives us crazy because there's tons of commercials and shows that just aren't that great.
Yep.
Except for, what is the one that Ellie likes to watch?
Shark Tank.
Ellie likes to come visit us at the hotel so she can watch Shark Tank. It's kind of fun to do that with her. Well, it is fun.
Bounty the Badlands said, until you take lard sandwiches in your school lunch, then don't complain. She had a friend who did that. Yeah, exactly. Simon says, when I hear people complain about the lack of cashiers, stores not being stocked up, higher prices, I say to them that elections have consequences. They just look at me like they have no brain. They don't have a brain. That's why they're voting for these yahoos. Sorry, but that's the way it is. The number of people that I have had in my life that I know very, very well who have voted for these people and listening to them justify their voting. I'm just in shock at how they can justify in their own mind it's okay to vote like this. I really am shocked. And they're Christians. It's unbelievable. But Karen can't wait to get her volume 2. Then she'll get volume 1 and gluten 1 for her birthday. Yes, we do have Mother's Day sales. So only twice a year, guys. The cookbooks are only on sale twice a year. So our print books are 40% off and our ebooks are 50% off right now. And Darlene's making lots of banana bread. Listen, this is the only banana bread recipe you need. Banana bread, the original recipe is in here. We have the same recipe in here with like 15 variations. I just couldn't fit it in here. So I went ahead and there's only 2. The muffins and the banana bread are the only 2 recipes that are same because I couldn't find one better. I tried finding other recipes to put in this one that were different and I couldn't find anything better. So I just used my 2 recipes and put all the variations in volume 2. Butter was 50% off today at Safeway. Good until the 5th. Wow, that's great. All right. Can you send me the next one? Connie says, a friend of mine told me that her adult daughter and grandson are an adult grandson are getting $650 a month in food stamps. Oh my goodness. This was in Denver. That's just ridiculous.
What was that?
$650 for 2 adults. That's just crazy. Margaret, I agree with Mike. Homemade food is better than eating out. Yes, it is. Karen, anybody on the fence about the cookbooks? I got volume 1 and 2 last week. They're beautiful, professional, and so much more than their recipes. Lots of ideas about gifts, homemade beauty routines, and also there's like cleaning supplies and stuff. She said it's an encyclopedia. Yes, here's one of the pictures. We give you ideas on cheap food like baked potatoes. How to make baked potatoes fancy. We had baked potatoes the other day, didn't we?
Oh, man, they were good.
Is that still on my camera? I don't know if I had it still on my camera. We took the picture.
Make baked potatoes and put
I took it off.
Butter and salt and pepper and a little bit of broccoli and some bacon. Oof. And if you
it
like
was
cheese,
really good.
put cheese on there.
Oh, here it is. Oops, except the picture's turned around, upside down.
Well, you can just do that thing twice.
This twice.
Yeah.
1, 2. Okay, hold on. Here, I'll show it to you guys right here. Look at this is what we had for dinner. I was tired. I didn't feel like cooking. Oops, how do I share it? Oh, there's nothing there. Oh, wait. Screen, maybe? Window. Oh, very good. And I didn't feel like cooking. And we had leftover broccoli. And we had tomatoes from the garden. We had leftover bacon. Yum. So I threw it all together. And this is what I made. And this literally took me 5 minutes worth of work. Sprinkled some goat cheese on there because we're dairy free. Now, that looks pretty darn tootin' good if I do say so myself.
It definitely looks darn tootin' good.
Do you guys type 1 if you think that looks darn tootin' good? Do you think they think that looks darn tootin' good?
Yeah, I do think that looks darn tootin' good. If you think that looks darn tootin' good, type darn tootin' good in the comments.
All right. Kelly, where can I find the cheap lunch ideas we talked about? First of all, Dining on a Dime, volume 1 on page. Let me see if I can find it here. Just a second. It is on page. Whoops, where'd it go? I passed it. Okay, first of all, we have menu planning starting on page 11. And then we have lunch, specifically lunch ideas on page, well, here it is. On page 28 and 29, lunch and snack ideas right there for you. Also, livingonadime.com. Lynn, my friend's husband bought boiled eggs that were pre-shelled. Oh my goodness.
Wow, I noticed they have those at the convenience store.
They're
crazy. Like $5 or $6 for 2.
I know.
And hard-boiled eggs are so easy.
Vicky says it's just my husband and me. She spends around $400 to $700 a month. What are you buying for that much money? Oh my goodness. I can't imagine what you are buying for that much money. Just for you guys wondering, I recommend $100 per person per month. That is I think that is a very generous grocery bill. Mom's on the frugal budget and she does 80. Kathy, I live in New York State, I think, maybe. My only necessities and frugal budget jumped from $250 to $800. I cannot buy cheap processed foods. That's not 20%. Well, that's what you get for living in New York, if that's where it is.
Well,
New York
And
is
when you say-
notorious for people doing that.
But also, when you say cheap processed foods, do you mean you can't buy organic free range foods?
That's
or do you
ridiculous.
mean cheap processed foods?
I'm not talking about macaroni and cheese
I'm
here.
talking about beans, rice, chicken, peppers, onions, some Mexican seasonings. Make something together with all that. It's brilliant.
Potatoes.
It's amazing, and it's cheap, and it's not processed.
Processed food is not
But
cheap.
a lot of people, when I'm not
That's
saying
dumb.
you specifically, but a lot of people, when they say cheap processed foods, they mean if you don't buy it at Trader Joe's, if it's not organic and all that, then it's cheap processed foods. And that's just a luxury that if you want to have it, you can, but that's not going to that's not affecting your price. Like basic food, rice and potatoes and beans and chicken and maybe beef if it's cheap, pork and that kind of stuff, and various vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Judy, I find clearance items, including meat, all the time at Kroger's. Yep, you sure do. She found $17.99 private selection ribeyes marked down to $6. There you go. You find it all the time. And even in New York, I was in New York and I found tons of cheap food when I was there. I was only there 3 or 4 days. Have no intention of ever going back again. But I don't know. Upper New York might be nice, but New York City was not that great.
We're just not
Donnie's.
city people.
Does your mom buy washing powder cleanses what times along with her groceries? No, that doesn't include. That's food. Candace says we made homemade chili and homemade pimento cheese. Yep, Grandma used to make homemade pimento cheese. She made that for our wedding sandwiches all the time. Natalie says she loves our apple bread and our enchilada sauce in volume 1. And Chrissy says she buys gluten-free pie crust. Please stop doing that right now and go use the recipe in gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook.
Tara had to eat gluten-free, and at first, didn't you buy some of the pre-made stuff at the store? But it was just ridiculously expensive.
Yep.
So she wrote the book. Well, she was just making stuff for herself, and our assistant at the time said, "You should make a book for that." Because
I was
it's
like,
so much
why?
cheaper.
I'm just converting these. And so now it's actually we sell a lot of the gluten-free books.
It's so much cheaper to make your own gluten-free stuff than to buy it, and it tastes better.
Yeah.
Man, the brownies, they're better than the regular ones.
He loves the gluten-free brownies.
Yeah.
Jim, people in the Great Depression had to really sacrifice. Yes. We have no idea what they went through. I know. Yeah. My grandmother lived through the Depression as a young child, and so that was really bad. Darcy said, sadly, people will have more wants and needs than simple foods like PB&J. Yep. Crustables and Lunchables are the most asinine foods I have ever come across. I'm sorry, the most ridiculous foods I've ever come across. Hi, Sierra says, beans don't cook right for me at high altitude. Do you have a recipe that fixes that in your cookbook? So just soak them overnight and then just leave them on a slow simmer in the crock pot during the day. Or you can put them in an Instant Pot, and that will help. Hardly any schools offer home economics anymore. It was called that for a reason. Yes, you're right. Do we do MediShare instead of insurance?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's similar.
Similar.
Health sharing.
But we still have to pay a portion before that.
Well, and the health sharing that we have is way cheaper. I mean, it's still there's a lot that you pay that you think, am I ever going to see this money again? But it's a lot cheaper than regular insurance because it only pays for necessary things, and it doesn't pay for things that are the result of behavior you probably isn't wise to be doing. So, like people getting drunk all the time and doing drugs and having a lot of partners and things like that. There's a certain amount of, there are rules saying these are certain rules that you have to agree that you're going to live this way. And pretty much most of those health shares are sort of like that. They're just different levels of that.
Well, it's reasonable stuff. Like if you smoke, they're not going to cover, they're not going to cover lung cancer. If your teenage daughter gets pregnant, they're not going to cover that. Well, that's reasonable.
But it's way, way cheaper. And we like that. Now, MediShare, I think MediShare is good, but price-wise, it's very similar to it's cheaper than the insurance, but not as cheap as some of the other ones. So, and the thing that's cool about it, because somebody had said, what if you need a heart valve replacement or something? We've tested this situation with surgery, and I look and see what other people say about them and what their history is of paying out for stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right. So that's why I shopped around for the ultrasound, because we still have to pay a significant amount to start with.
Well, and the one that we chose, it doesn't pay anything until you spend $1,000 out of pocket. And I know that sounds crazy to some people, but that's what I've always wanted. And we had another one where it was like, I don't know, a couple $100 deductible, and you submit bills and they pay you a fraction, like kind of like health insurance does. But the work to make that happen was ridiculously complicated, and it cost a lot more because they paid for more things. And so the one we have right now, I'm like, you know what? If it's a $200 bill, I'd rather just pay it and not have to deal with all the paperwork and everything. Oh. And when you do that, and you go and ask for the cash price, they'll tell you that's like $1,200. You say, oh, self-pay. Is there a self-pay price? They're like, oh yeah, $185. So they're just kind of gypping the insurance
except
companies.
For our hospital.
But they're doing that to the insurance companies because of that hassle they have to go through for all the billing and paperwork and the logistics that are required. Whereas if it's a health share, it's basically, do you qualify for that? Yes. And then we'll show you that and you pay it. But for the little expenses, you just pay it.
Darlene says, Mom's pie crust in volume 1. Now we're talking. It's the best pie crust you'll ever eat. And I hate pie crust.
Oh, and when I said $1,000, like if there's one issue that goes on forever and ever, $1,000 is the most.
Yeah. Stephanie, hey, from Frederick, Colorado. We know where Frederick is. Actually, Mom's going to be there.
Yeah, we know Stephanie.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Making your easy enchiladas tonight for dinner. Thank you so much. And Bev says, thank you for the free ebook. You're welcome, Bev. I'm so glad you could have the free ebook.
Yes.
Hello, friend from Kimmy.
Kimmy, I was just thinking the other day, I haven't heard you and Tara talking lately.
When are we going on our vacation, Kimmy?
You ladies go.
Oh, I saw this video the other day. Speaking of Kimmy, I saw this video. I was going to send it to you. It freaked me out. The guy looked just like your husband. Looked just like Derek. I was like, wait, is that Derek? It was funny. Thank you, everyone, for the prayers. And yes, we appreciate that. Elaine says, our pie crust is so good, she eats it just by itself. I know, isn't it? Jan, I'm lactose intolerant and recently discovered oat milk. Today I bought old-fashioned oats cheesecloth to make hers own for 10 cents versus $3.85. Yes, my video, can you put the video from my gluten-free channel, dear?
For which one? That
was the video that came out today, was how to make oat milk.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's on the gluten-free channel?
Yes. Yes, I know you didn't know that. We need to get caught up on our...
Well, I was out of town.
I know.
Yeah, right coming back from out of town is when Jack got sick in the van. I'm like, oh, great.
Tammy says, I have a family member and they order pizza almost every single night. I just can't imagine that. Wow.
Oops, I'm on the wrong channel still.
Terry says, I simply don't want to give my money to restaurants. Yeah, I know.
Well, it's funny about the restaurants. I've worked at a lot of restaurants before, and there's no magic to what they do. They just learn how to cook, and they do. And they cook from scratch ingredients. But they basically find a cookbook like this, and then they make stuff out of it. Wait, which one is it?
Right there. Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, please.
Bounty in the Badland. Pie crusty is the best part of Grandma's pie making. Yep, when she used the scraps. Yep. Rez, my husband and I are not wealthy but comfortable. Food prices are higher, but that is not the problem. Utilities, property tax, insurance have raised a lot here in Texas. We dropped our health insurance. Yeah. And I get that. But once again, it just goes back to everything. 90% of what Americans have are wants and not needs. Really.
That is really the biggest thing.
90%.
For most people.
Piglet, what do you do when your spouse wants to go out to eat all the time, or coffee, even when you have food coffee at home? Oh, man, I don't know. Maybe add the numbers up for them so they can see how much they're actually spending. And then take those numbers and equate it to the number of hours that they're working. So like if they're eating out and coffee every day, and let's say they're spending $30 a day, if they're spending $30 a day times 20 a month, that's $600 a month times 12 months, that is $7,200. Let's say they make $25 an hour, so they take home $20 an hour. That is, after taxes and stuff, that means they have to work 360 hours or 9 days to pay for that stuff. They could take off work for 9 days if they didn't pay for those things. So maybe break it down that way.
Well, if you have a lot of debt and you're charging things because you can't really pay all your bills and it's stressing you out, it's good to tell him, hey, I know you don't think this means a lot, but you know how I'm kind of angsty and I'm not very happy a lot of the time and you think I'm moody. Well, I'm just really struggling with the way that we're spending, and I feel helpless to, have any part in saying how we spend. So to me, I look at this and it looks like our income is just out of control, and it makes me feel like we're not secure in our life. Like if you tell them something like that, a lot of husbands will never have thought of it that way before. I mean, they may not change right away, but you kind of have to.
We need to have a talk.
We had that talk 30 years ago.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is,
thank you, by the way, for not going out and buying all the time.
You're welcome. Well, but the thing is, some guys just think, well, it doesn't really bother me. I don't really notice the debt and I don't care too much. But if you express to him how it's affecting you, and especially if it comes to like, I'm just stressed out all the time and you don't like coming home to me because I'm stressing out about the debt that you don't care about. That's kind of it's probably a more than one conversation thing, but it's the kind of thing that I think a guy sometimes needs to hear.
Okay.
Well, thank you everyone for all the happy early birthdays. I appreciate that. Even though I'm not worried about getting old, I'm going to be happy to sit here where I am until Tuesday. Then when I cross over to the next year, I'll just
be there, huh? Lance says, I lost some weight by quitting sugar. When I cut out sugar, I could cut portions easier. It helped me. Maybe it will help you. She's talking to Melinda. Yep, that helps a lot. And see, yes, we used to roll out pie crust, put butter and cinnamon and sugar on it. Yes, kind of like an elephant ear. Oh, yeah, that would be so good. Tammy, a family of 3 that makes 100,000 say they can't live and ask us for food, and we are considered low income. I'm sorry. That kind of thing. I don't donate to things like food baskets and food banks and stuff like that at Christmas, because I have been there and done that where we were actually so poor that we really didn't have that, and we were one of the recipients of those families. And I see all these people now who are asking for these things, and they're driving new or almost new cars. Their nails are done. They've got iPhones. I'm sorry. I can't participate in that. You need to have a budgeting class. I don't know. The pastor said we should do a budgeting class at church. Maybe we should do it. No, never mind.
They could see you slamming the podium at church saying, "Get it together, people." They'd be like, yeah, maybe we should tell her she's not invited to come back in this Bible study again. Chad, are you laughing?
Darling, did we have a big to-do for Thanksgiving? Nope, we went out to dinner. Speaking of not eating out. But we don't eat out on a regular basis except for you and I's taco date where we split a fajitas. So
yeah, we split. We're those people that split something. And if you work at a restaurant, you know what I'm saying is I usually tip as if we're buying 2 separate things because I know the wait staff has to do the same job. But it's a lot cheaper for us to just share one, and the place doesn't have any problem with us doing that. In fact, they know us there by first name.
Heidi, our meatloaf recipe is our favorite. It's delicious. It is,
Ooh,
isn't it? Thank you.
Lots of people come into darn tootin' good.
Ooh, yay. Cindy loves the crate recipe. Thank you. She made a special breakfast for the holiday. Maybe we should make that for Christmas. Well, not for Christmas breakfast. Maybe when the kids come up for Christmas, we could do that for one of the breakfasts. Make crepes. That would be good. We haven't made crepes forever. She makes the crepes with the jam inside. Yes. We have Nutella too. And Diana says our hot fudge recipe is great, isn't it? Oh my goodness. It is so delicious.
I just sent it to you.
Patricia says my mom used to renew our car tags for our birthdays. Oh, that's a nice thing to do. Yes. Diana says, please be encouraged. I've been checking my grocery stores for the specials, and now some of my relatives are asking me to pick up a few sale groceries for them. That is great. And that's nice of you to do that, even though they live far away. Oh, and we're matchy today, Natalie says. Naomi, I know you said no vacations if you're in debt, but what do you do going to a Christian retreat seminar that's 300 miles away, 80 hours, where you have to rent a motel? Well, then you just have to rent a motel. I mean, I wouldn't probably do something like that unless it's saving your marriage or something, I guess.
Where is it?
Right here. But, you know, I mean, if you're going to save your marriage, it's probably cheaper than divorce. But
well, and if it's a retreat for that kind of thing and you only do it once and hardly ever, then it's probably something you can figure out how to work in your budget. But when Tar says vacations, there's so many people that are like, I have to go to Disney every year and spend $10,000. And
we have to create memories.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the dumbest one ever. Mount Corner says, Mr. Living on a Dime, you should have had 2 glasses of water by now for that cold.
Yes. Actually, I was thinking I might have to run for a second.
Rena, love your channel. I'm 66 years old. My husband and I just celebrated 50th anniversary, learning a lot from the wisdom. Question, is it possible to make yogurt from powdered milk? Not really. You can try it. The yogurt recipe uses powdered milk in Dining on a Dime Volume 1, and then the Greek yogurt in Volume 2. But you need the full fat. You need the full fat in whole milk to make yogurt set up correctly. I mean, I guess you maybe could make it and just add some gelatin and that would thicken it. You could try that and see how that goes. That might work. Linda, how long does shipping take? Anywhere from 3 to 10 days, just depending on where you're at. It's Christmas, so it may take a little bit longer, but people have been getting their orders fairly quickly. Shadana, I bought my first house when I was 18, sold that to buy my second house, sold the first house, sold the second house for what we are in now. I just turned 49, bought all 3 for cash. Very good. You go. That's great. Shadana says, I'm in Nebraska, about 35 acres in Wyoming in 2018 with cash. Very good. Yes, you go. Rena, love your channel. I'm 66 years old. Husband and I celebrate our 50th anniversary. Oh, wait. Got that one. Sorry about that. Got in there twice. Joy, I just came on and whoa, I can't wait to go back and hear from the beginning this juicy episode.
Hey, did you see the one that said I need to be drinking more water with the cold?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, where is it? Says from an online grandma. I was like, thank you, Grandma. I appreciate that.
Michelle, a lot of these people haven't really reached rock bottom, I think. No, they haven't. Actually, that's the problem. They're not at rock bottom. And
that's why I made a reference to the homeless story earlier in the show, is that there's a certain point where you realize, oh, now I'm in danger of not having a place to live or a place or something to eat. And that really quickly changes your perspective to realize, all the stuff I thought I needed, I don't really need it.
Julianne says, a lady was complaining about butter prices. I told her, why didn't you get it last week when it was on sale? Her response was, I don't have time to keep track of all that. Fine, then just keep working yourself into an early grave. It's your own darn tootin' fault.
Yep. Linda, I just shared the link for the free ebook again in the comments.
Frey says, on TikTok and Instagram, I have seen so many times these people who go to Disney every year and drive leased cars and constantly complain about money. Yep. Now I've decided it's the government's problem. Yeah. Sorry, you ain't going to get that from me. Or these people who have their kids in sports to the tune of $10,000 to $20,000 a year. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's funny because I always thought, yeah, well, sports are probably kind of useful to learn to play on teams and all that. But when I realized people we know are sending their kids across the country and spending tens of thousands of dollars a year, I thought, well, yeah, sports aren't that important. Like they can learn the teamwork playing with the kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Water Bucket says, agree. The grocery audit made me reconsider the brands to buy, and the price book helped her know what prices to look for. I am so glad it helped you. This is the price book she's talking about, guys. She got it for free because we did a grocery audit for her. But this is the way to keep track so that when prices are rock bottom, you can get them at rock bottom prices. Laura, we had cream chip beef on toast all the time. Yes, exactly. Heather in the Mountains. Those special jellies and marmalades are actually special when you finally get to sit down and savor them. Yes, they are. Sue says, I thought I had a little to learn from the grocery audits you have done, but I realized I need to make sure I'm using what I have on hand. Yes, that's one thing I'm noticing is people aren't using what they already have. That's very true. Galena, starting a new job in January, pay cut. Yes, I'm still able to live under my budget, stocked pantry, extras into savings to prepare. Good job. She loves living debt-free. Deanna, Jesus sacrificed his life for you, and people can't give up their ho-hos and Coke. Oh,
ouch, but true.
You're right. I know. You are right, especially Christians. Oh my goodness. This really makes me angry when Christians complain about stuff like that. Wanda, I need fast food copycat recipes and Hamburger Helper. We have Hamburger Helper in volume 1. It's the hamburger casserole. It's the same thing. Not a noodle, but a potato stroganoff. I'll look for those ones and see if I can find some. Katie, here in the UK, we are doing a really small Christmas this year. That is totally fine. Vicky, I've learned a lot from Tara. I love buying the stuff on sale and then planning meals with what I already have on hand. Very good. Tammy says, hello, Tam. My son and his wife will be moving into my house to save money, and that's where all her dining on a dime cookbooks are, because you don't take them with you everywhere you go.
Yep.
She travels for her job. I think her suitcase should have both cookbooks in there. Barbara, my husband loves my cooking, and it's way better than eating out. Does my husband love my cooking?
I do. I absolutely adore it.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
Except I didn't cook tonight because nobody felt like eating.
Well, honestly, I made some plain rice, and everybody was eating that. Well, those of us who were eating that.
In case you're wondering why I have my phone, we have Jack babysitting Dave to help in case he passes out and needs help. Laura, my Not Just Beans cookbook is falling apart. So that's the original name of our Dining on a Dime cookbook when it came out 25 years ago. Plus, my Dining on a Dime 20th anniversary is losing pages. I might have to update. Do it now. It's 40% off, Laura. That's great. What a testimony.
Yes.
Amy, Chinese tonight for dinner. Added extra vegetables to help fluff it. Very good. Dining to Badlands. Our eat out expense Chinese 3 times a year is 100. That can't be 150,000.
She means $150.
Oh, $150.
Yeah,
oh,
somebody else commented on
Chinese 3 times a year, $150. A couple of pizzas a year, $60. Yes, very good. 300. Yes, and $300 a year. Very good. Send me the next one. That's great, Bounty. Yep. Sarah, living on a dime is better than most stuff on TV. I only watch the news on TV, so I know what's going on. Thanks.
You know, I would say, is that 3 or 4 that you're reading? You're reading 3?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. How did I get behind? I wouldn't watch the news on TV to see what's going on. I would probably find a source that you can read it. I mean, it's up to you, but most of the news is really not news. It's really not information. I used to work in television for 20 years. So most of it is designed to be sort of shock entertainment. So a lot of it's not true or it's not well researched or whatever. So if you want to just kind of know what's going on, I would recommend that you look for some online print media, that you check it out and make sure you can actually trust it, because there's so much stuff that you can put anything on the internet now. And if you have a name of a news organization. It makes you sound great, but you may still not be putting great stuff. So I just suggest that so you can be a little bit aware, but not stress yourself out.
Yes, Cindy, $100 a month per person is a good budget to have. Heather, just made my own recipe from stale bread for Thanksgiving. Made canned chicken soup creams for the fridge. Very good. Sounds like maybe a casserole of some type. Brenda says, I sometimes have baked potatoes, open a can of chili, onions, cheese. It's delicious filling meal. Yes, it is. That is great. Vicky, I stock up with basic things. My husband has to have apples, oranges, bananas, pecans, walnuts every month. That's fine. I mean, those are basic foods. The nuts are getting really expensive, but just, right now is a great time to stock up and then put them in the freezer if you need them for more than 6 months. Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the bag. The bag alone says, I think I got some yesterday for tomorrow's cooking videos that we're doing, and I think they're good until October 2024 without even putting them in the freezer. So, Nancy says, I know some people that worked at the grocery store. They said the ones that buy food stamps, food items, the most of us could not afford. Yeah, I know. Drives me nuts. Kim, even splitting a meal is getting expensive. Yes, it is. Sharon, I have wanted your cookbooks for years, but I'm on a tight budget. I was told I could pick out a Christmas gift up to $4. I have celiac, and I'm getting your gluten-free book. Good. Thank you, Sharon. I hope it will help. Kathy, cannot eat grains. They make meal. Don't eat grains then. Karen, add cornbread to darn tootin' good plate of broccoli, tomato, cheese for totally delicious meal. Yes, that would be. Chrissy, okay, I'm stop being scared. I do have the book.
Well, yay.
Sandy, is there a way to replay? Can you see the next one?
You're not the only one, by the way. There are a lot of people that are scared.
Yeah.
That's largely why a lot of people buy convenient stuff, because they just don't think they can do it.
You send me the next one. Sandy, is there a way to replay? Yes, you can replay the show after we are done.
I only have a few things.
Let's see. Olympia says, very true, Mike. Just listen to the reporters and the voices in their tones. Yep. Exactly.
Well, it's funny because I've noticed there's one radio station that I occasionally will listen to. And if they have a news break, I hate the news breaks. But if they have a news break, the lady that does the news break, she always starts with, and it's funny because she has that at the beginning of every one. And that I've realized, because I used to work in TV and I edit videos, and I understand how you can kind of manipulate people with those things. But I was thinking, that kind of weird sigh choking thing is a way to communicate to people, oh, things are really terrible out there. And, I don't want to hear your opinion of it. Just give me a few details and then I'm done. That's why I like the print, because it's easier to manipulate people in video. Yes.
Looking at your notes to yourself, buy a quiet mouse.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear Mike's mouse? Can you hear it? I'm curious if you guys can hear it.
A lot of times I hear, if I'm listening to the show, I think, what is that clicking? And I realize
is there non-clickable mouses?
Yeah.
Oh, there is? Really?
Although I kind of like the clicking one for work, because sometimes I don't know if I've actually pressed it.
Yeah.
Or if the computer's received the fact that I pressed it.
Okay, let's see. Cindy says pre-made pizza dough placed in the freezer is such a good thing. Yes, defrost and bake as usual. Keep your money in your pocket. Yes. Dining on a Dime, Volume 1. Now, I will say I do buy my boys pre-made Walmart pizzas, like the pepperoni and that. They're like $3.98 or something. So I do keep a couple of those on hand. But, you can make a homemade pizza for $1.50 or so. Hello, Lois. Did you hear everything that's been going on?
Maybe it's a good thing that your son didn't go.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing. Yeah. Lisa, I donate after the holidays as I feel it's more important. And very good. Yes. Kimberly, I'm working on your grocery audit right now, Kimberly. Yours is the last one I'm doing. My husband and I, since I have been cooking from the cookbook on my own, we actually prefer to eat at home because it tastes better. It's hot and we get to relax in our own home. You go to a restaurant on a special occasion, otherwise you're just paying a lot. Yep, we do. I totally get that. Anything else? Carolyn, if they have food stamps, they are allowed to buy dog food. So they buy meat for their dogs. Oh my goodness. Why do you have animals if you can't afford to buy them food? Yeah, that makes me really mad. Somebody was asking for donations for dog food somewhere. I don't know where it was. It's like, listen, don't, and it was for a puppy. don't be getting a puppy if you can't afford it. It's ridiculous. Claudia, any tips on how to respond when watching YouTube on my TV? I think you have to just respond like on the computer or your phone. You can't type on the phone comments. You can't type on the TV comments, right? I mean, maybe I guess if you have a mouse hooked up.
We've never done it on a TV. That might work. Or my thinking is the TV, you'd have to use that controller and skip forward each letter, which would be a big pain. So, but
unless your computer's hooked up to your computer.
We don't do it on the TV, so I'm not sure how that would work. I know on a phone you can bring up a keyboard and type it, although to me that would seem to still be kind of difficult.
Yeah. How do you download the ebook from checkout? It'll be sent to you in an email. Make sure you put in the coupon code. What?
Oh, I think I should wait and let you read it.
Oh, dear.
From Eileen herself.
Okay. Send it on, baby.
Hold on just a second.
Send it on, baby.
Oh, nice. All righty.
Thank you, Chelsea, for ordering our gluten-free cookbook. The green one for her, and her sister gets the regular one. Thank you so much. Guys, our sale ends this week. Our sale ends this week. So 40% off. Grab them now. Otherwise, you got to wait till Mother's Day.
I was wondering if we should read the comment that I got earlier today. I think that was really amazing, really hilarious. I don't know. Do you have it handy?
I don't know if I have it. Let's see.
I can look and see where I sent it to you. I just thought it was hilarious. Oh, yeah. So, I have a note for myself, but where I said it to Tara, I didn't tell her who said it. But one person sent a message today saying, I just ordered this book to give to my daughter and got it this week. I love it so much that I'm keeping it and sending her the one from this order. Thank you so much. That's amazing. I actually do have your name. I saved it in a different spot, but when I sent it to Tara, it was Kathy. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Kathy. It just warmed my heart to hear that.
Sorry, guys. I was up with Dave all night, so I don't mean to be yawning. You're not boring. It's me. Didn't sleep very much last night. Connie, I like to pretend I'm playing Chopped and have my mystery pantry items to figure something out. Yes.
Is that a show?
I don't know, but guys, when you have foods that you need to use up or you don't know what to do with, just make a decision. I'm going to figure out what to use this with and find a recipe and make a decision and use it. Just make a decision. Becky says she has volume 1 of our Dining on a Dime cookbook, and she just ordered our price book, which is also 40% off. This is the best way to save money on your groceries by keeping track of prices. Also, for those of you, 20%, if you want to get organized, 20% off of our undated planners. It's 400 pages, 365 undated days. So if you miss a day, you don't waste pages.
Sorry, I have to step in. Wild Rose 70 said some of the internet isn't true, and then she has a laughing face.
Well, Abraham Lincoln said that.
Well, I was going to say, Jack always says that Abraham Lincoln said that everything on the internet is true. I just think it's hilarious when he says that.
Becky, or 99 Midnight Gamer says, my husband always buys chips and candy, but we don't leave the house much because we are both hung buddies. That's fine. But they still save lots of money because they stay home all the time. Yep. Naomi, did you claim your children dependent on your W-4?
Oh, yes. I was going to, Naomi, yes. Yes, we claimed our kids on the taxes, and you should too. Because first of all, she said she's a new mom, I think. I don't know who said it's better not to claim a dependent, but I think that they're saying that so they can get a big tax return at the end of the year.
Don't give the government a free loan with your money.
That's basically just letting the government hold your money for a year.
In Kansas one year, they weren't giving refunds back.
Instead, just let them pay you, and if you want to set aside the money as you go, do that. But I would always claim your kids. And it's funny because when they get to be teenagers, the IRS asks you and them, it asks them, can anyone claim you as a dependent? And if somebody can, then they can't. So it's not like you have to choose when they get to be teenagers. Do I claim them or do they claim themselves? If you can claim them and you don't, they still can't claim themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely claim them. And the thing what we do with the we don't have W-4s really. But what I did before is I tried to calculate it to where would pretty much have a small amount of tax we'd have to pay. And that's kind of what we do now too. And I've been pretty good at it with ourselves, but that way the government's not holding the money. And like Tara said, when we were in Kansas, there was one year where there was a train wreck in Kansas around 2008, and they didn't pay. They slow paid everybody's returns. So it was like 6 months or something longer than it was supposed to be. So, and then all those people who had, claimed fewer dependents to have a huge tax return were upset because they weren't sure if they were going to get it back at all.
Hello, Rob, our favorite YouTuber in Missouri.
Howdy, Rob.
We love you, Rob. Danielle says her mother-in-law lives about 20 minutes from Disneyland. Oh, that's great. Hey, then it's okay to go. Then it's okay if you're just driving from somebody's house. I'm good with that. Her mother-in-law lives by Disneyland, basically, so I'm okay with that. Elaine says, I picture Jesus saying, get it together, people, when you flip the money changer tables. Yes!
That's in the Message version.
That's in the Tara version. Listen, I am not in any way, shape, or form denying that prices have gone up now in 2023. I know in 2020, 21, and 22, I kept saying inflation's not hitting, so get ready now. Inflation's not hitting. It is hit now. I knew it was coming. That's why I kept warning you before it did. But you still have choices to make. If you cannot afford your pet food or whatever, you do not need to be having 4 pets. I'm sorry. I've had dogs my whole life. I love them most of the time, unless they're my neighbor's dog barking all the time. But my personal dogs I loved. But if I couldn't afford them, I wouldn't keep them. And guess what? Even when I was living on $300 a month, I was able to afford my dog and my cat. And I didn't complain about paying for their food.
I can say that Tara never complained ever about the cost of things. And there were times, and I think back to before she knew me, it was even harder for her. Well, okay, so it was harder for her. But, like when we had no refrigerator and we had to figure that out, she didn't complain about that either. So it's just kind of.
You just do what you got to do in the situation that you're in and figure it out. Activation says, I see coworkers buy fast food in Starbucks every day. And I keep saying it in my mind. How much money are you wasting? I know. Montana girl, a New Year's resolution was taking 1 bag of stuff to the thrift store every week, working hard to declutter. You go. That is great. It's amazing how much stuff you do. I know. I just decluttered all of my Christmas decorations. And I threw 2 boxes into the trash of Christmas decorations because they were broken or had pieces missing or whatever. So I got rid of them. I totally get it. This will be the next one. Or is there any more?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yes, guys, if you guys are loving this, could you please give me a thumbs up? It helps the algorithm know that you guys love us. How is Dave? Dave is extremely ill today.
He's got some kind of flu,
and it's really bad. I won't give a descriptive description, but let's just say it's
Poor guy.
bad.
I feel bad for him. He's always been the sickest one.
And if the rest of us get it, we're going to be begging for mercy. So, yeah. And it's bad because he's literally been laying on the couch or his bed all day long. And he can, literally like a half a teaspoon of water he's been sipping every 5 to 10, 15 minutes. And if he drinks more than that, it doesn't stay down. And it's been, really bad. Yeah.
I did send you more, and we have a few more coming in. But if you are not feeling good, then
Froze family says hi again from the land of tomorrow.
Hello,
what
Froze
is the
family.
Land of tomorrow?
They're in Japan. So it's
that's funny. I get it because it's already tomorrow there, like
yes,
Australia. Oh,
exactly.
It's Tuesday. Oh, here she says it's Tuesday morning here. I guess I could finish reading her comment. Hello again from the land of tomorrow. It's Tuesday morning here. We live frugally for our 35 plus years in missions, no frills, but we are often blessed even with the wants. Yes, God is good. You are right. It is amazing how you will get the wants that you want when you manage your money correctly. God will bless you with things that you want all the time. We have it happen all the time. I had it the other day, our Christmas tree. You guys remember my Christmas tree debacle? I found one for a sixth of the price of a new one, and it was almost a brand new tree. It was like 2 years old, pre-lit, everything. I was so excited. And so yes, it happens all the time. So Sue says I made stew with boneless, skinless chicken. We have a really good chicken soup turkey recipe in here that you can use to use her recipe. Use this recipe to make her recipe. You can use this as a base, is what I'm saying. The chicken and turkey soup in there. She said she made stew with boneless, skinless chicken, 1 box of stuffing, corn, peas, green beans, white beans, broth. The broth is what I'm talking about. Seasonings, mustard. Turned out great in the slow cooker. Very good. Thanksgiving stew. Yum. That sounds delicious. Carissa, it's me. I bought the blue book for me. Her son has the set. Yes, the blue book is volume 2. So guys, they are totally separate books. Start here. Well, you can use them separately, so you don't have to start here. But if you want basic, recipes like taco seasoning, that kind of thing, that's in here. We have seasonings in here, also a lot of them. And on Super Easy Recipes, my other channel, I'm cooking through volume 1 and 2. And then on my gluten-free channel, Mike can put the links in there for you. I am cooking through my gluten-free cookbook. Danielle got the price book along with the cookbook. She got one for herself a couple months ago, second for a Christmas present, one friend already started filling it out. She loves it. That is great, Danielle. I'm so happy. I wasn't sure Danielle was going to be happy about what I had to say on our grocery audit, so I'm so excited.
Well, you were doing a lot of things right. They're just, the thing is, everyone has something.
I'm noticing most people just need to do some tweaking.
There's usually one thing that mostly a lot of people are doing a lot of things right, and there's one little thing that's the issue.
Yeah.
But if you can get that one thing under control, then it gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Jessica, if your kids live with you, do you just buy food for everyone living there? Well, so I do for my kids. So our oldest kid at home pays rent, and then we just buys the food. Now he will buy his own food sometimes.
Yeah, if he wants something super special,
he's like, "This is my box of donuts."
If he wants,
okay.
Yeah, if he wants donuts or he wants to go to fast food or something, then he can buy his own.
But
our older ones have always pretty much done.
He usually shares with his baby bro. He's very good about sharing.
Well, and there is, I've always kind of stressed that it's kind of rude, like to go get yourself a big pizza and bring it home and not bring any for anyone else.
Yeah.
So.
Which is kind of hard when you had 5 kids at home.
Yeah.
So I would feel bad for BJ and Ellie if they would do something
and there have been times where we would kick in for something for the others just because it was, in that case, it really was a special treat then. We had the money. And we would buy something we would not otherwise buy just because the one had one. We didn't think it was right for the one to have to buy it for everyone. But at the same time, we do generally have the older kids, if they want something that's not on Tara's normal menu, buy their own.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready for more?
Yes. Okay, I have no idea. Maybe Denver mom, Brianna, maybe Brianne. No, Brenna.
Just say it one way. Don't keep.
Well, I'm trying to read what it says. She's got like a really weird name. I think it's Denver Mom
no,
Brenna.
No, it's Den Mom Brennan. Probably means Den Mom.
Oh, Den Mom like
a
Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm not sure. I'm just guessing.
Chopped is a food show, or is a show on Food Network. They're given specific ingredients they have to use and make either an appetizer, main dish, meal, or dessert. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
It's funny because I largely cook that way because I don't. Tara cooks most of the stuff, but I've learned there's certain things I really like, and I just throw those ingredients together in a way that I say, "Oh, hey, this is great." What were you gonna say?
Tracy says she wants a blue apron that says "Go Paint."
Which Tracy? Oh, nice.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I am giving Dave electrolytes. Well, as much as he could sip. He's if tomorrow he's not doing better, we may have to take him to the hospital and get an IV. Hasn't kept anything down at all. So
the one in Gillette.
Maybe we can get an ultrasound, get a 2-for-1 while we're there, and we can all just get our stuff done and while we're at the hospital. Empty corner. I bought your cookbook for my niece who lives up north. I can't wait to give it to her. Yay, that is great. Becky here decided for items that go in the pantry, we'll start making them with purchase date and cost per item. Good job. Good job. I saw somebody, so as I was looking through I keep show ideas. So if you guys have show ideas, send them to me because I don't know what we're going to do for January. I said I would do the grocery audits through December to see if they kicked things off. They are not, unfortunately. But so I don't know what we're going to do in January. So send me, if you guys have show ideas, email them to me, editor@livingonadime.com. But as I was looking through, somebody did a video where what they cooked for the price of a Starbucks coffee. So like they took that $8 Starbucks coffee and they cooked their food for the day. I thought, oh, that would be interesting to do. Nancy, we bought extra items when you suggested each time we go use something that we bought back then we think we saved. Yes, you just saved. You got a 25% return on your investment right there. Very good. Thank you, everyone, for wishing Dave a speedy recovery. Appreciate that. Kimberly, popsicles. Yes, the popsicles actually are staying down slightly better. Not a lot better, but slightly. Becky, retired for 2 years and house and car paid off, and I now have a stockpile that I'm living on before I continue. Very good. Yes, Lois. We're afraid to go out in public at the moment, though, about Ed. Jill, just made cake and frosting from your cake. Thank you. We have the most delicious. And you know what? On my gluten-free channel, the chocolate cake in here is my top video so far.
Oh, yeah.
You know why? Because it tastes darn
It's amazing.
good.
That's why.
Yep. Diana, can I freeze your homemade pizza dough in portions and defrost and rise? Yes, you can. Lisa says, give Dave elderberry every day. Yeah, I probably should do that because he's you know how every family has a sick kid. He's been our sick one ever since he was born. Okay. Anything else?
Sorry.
Show idea. Mike goes wild.
Oh,
see, I kept telling you should do a rant show. They want you to do a rant show.
Well, here, I was just thinking about what Kimmy said. I know we're trying to wind down.
Kimmy from She's in Her Apron says, I packed and flew out food for us for Thanksgiving. You won't believe the grief I got for that from viewers. I didn't have to pay for that bag, and I saved over $100 that I didn't have to buy again. Oh, seriously? People were actually...
You could be laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, you're the one laughing all the way to the bank. That's for sure. Hi, Sierra says, wow, I must have been under a rock. Never knew you had other cooking channels. Yes, I do. I have super easy recipes. The link's in the description below. And then my gluten-free channel also.
Okay, I wasn't going to say anything, but this weekend I was with a group of people and we stopped off at at Olive Garden, which we never go to anymore. We used to a long time ago, but I was shocked to see how much it costs to eat at a place like that now. But at the end, there were 2 completely full salads and 3 orders of breadsticks that hadn't been touched by anyone. And everyone was just going to leave it. So, and I had eaten all my food. So I was like, hey, can I have a couple of to-go boxes and a bag? And I brought all that home. And the funny thing is, Tara and I ate the salad for 2 meals, right?
Yeah.
And then Dave.
Well, before Dave got sick, but
Dave and Jack always go out, not always, occasionally they go out with their money and they buy themselves breadsticks somewhere. And I was like, well, here's some breadsticks that are pretty good and didn't cost any extra for what we were already paying. And I don't know. It's funny because when I know, Kimmy, you packed your own stuff, but I was just thinking this is a case where some people might be embarrassed when I'm like, these are 2 totally untouched salads and lots of breadsticks, and it's all going to go in the trash. Because I've worked at a restaurant before, and I know that. And I was thinking, no way.
I take all the extra napkins. Like when we do fajitas, they only give us 1 napkin, and they're really messy. And so I always ask for extra napkins. I take all the extra napkins. I take everything.
Well, because
they just throw it away.
They'll throw it away. Like, and all the, like, if you eat at a Mexican place and there's 2 tortillas left over, that's just going to go in the trash.
We take them all.
And
they laugh at us, but it's okay.
Well, yeah. But I mean, that's how you leverage your stuff, really, is don't waste any of it.
I'm just shocked when we do eat out how much food is left on all the plates.
What I think is funny is even when we share it, a lot of times there's food left.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I
do you
know.
want more questions?
Well, I was looking for Sarah's. She said that her question didn't get answered. So I was waiting for Sarah. Repost your question. You got to ask the question again. Totally ask the question again, Sarah. I'll wait till you post it real quick. Roxanne says cooler temperatures in the room. House also will help with nausea. Yeah, he's got a bad fever, so he's freezing cold, but yeah. Gail says, Kimmy, it's none of their business if you want to ship food. I know. The guy at the Restore, Rich. We love Rich. He's the greatest.
She said just reposted. Oh.
He shipped food when they went to Disney. He shipped a whole box of food that they had been buying on sale for the last several months. A couple of boxes of food, so they wouldn't have to buy it down there.
I wouldn't probably agree with that, Sarah, but I mean, I know there are people that think so.
So Sarah says, do European countries ban the stuff in processed foods and the US doesn't? Do they want us to get sick so we all have to take a drug? No. No.
I just think that the European countries tend to lean more on the kind of the government is your manager.
Yeah.
To make sure you don't hurt yourself. And it is true that sometimes they do make a law about something, and then a few years later we realize maybe that was a good idea. But I think that that's the reason why, more than to take a drug. I do think there are times when they want you to take a drug that I don't know that we'd really need.
I think it just amounts to Americans are so rich, and they don't even know they're so rich, with just that they're just able to buy whatever they want. And they do buy whatever they want. And so it doesn't have anything to do with that. It has everything to do with we just have so much money that we can have whatever we want. And so,
but I would say if you just kind of circling back, just kidding, going back to the beginning of the show, if you buy basic food and make your own stuff, then most of those issues that sometimes I don't know that I agree about some of the foods that people call processed, because anything you do to food is processing it. But I do realize that some things they don't resemble at all where they came from. And I don't know if that's good or bad. But if you think it's bad, then go to the basic food, the rice and the beans and the chicken and the broccoli, and make your own stuff. And then you'll know what's in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say that not just for that reason, but also to save a lot of money.
You have a choice if you're going to eat it or not. I'm sorry. Even if they are conspiring for us to all get fat and eat all this stuff, you have a choice if you're going to eat it or not. I have a choice when I sit there and snack instead of waiting for dinner, which is my big problem. And I just don't know how to stop doing that. I just need to stop doing it, and I'm not.
On eating too much?
Yes.
I know for me, it's just if I'm not feeling good or
For me, it's because I feel
stressing
tired.
about something
Yeah.
or I'm tired, then I'll grab stuff if it's nearby. And
Yes.
if I write it down and keep track of it, I tend to be better
Yes.
at not just picking up
Thank
stuff.
you, Water Bucket. I like those ideas. Appreciate that. What is Zofram?
No idea.
I know, Jill. I gotta get it together, Tara. Oh, I gotta get it together. I know. Okay. 40% off right now, guys. The sale ends this week. In the description below, 50% off our ebooks, 40% off our print books. The anti-nausea medication. We have some of that from Silver Dollar City we can give Dave. That's a great idea.
I don't think it's the same stuff that I don't think
Yeah,
it's
but
a
I mean, we
Zofran,
have
but
the other
it's-
stuff.
Yeah.
I've been giving them the over-counter stuff. Oh, thank you. I wasn't even thinking. We got
They
some
gave
left.
me one that was like on Destron or something like that.
I'll give him
after
that.
a surgery, and it's the only one I've ever had where it just kills
Yep.
the nausea immediately. Although
Yep.
I asked the doctor one time for some because we were going to an amusement park, and he said, "What do you want that for?" Because apparently a lot of drug addicts and alcoholics and stuff use it to not feel sick so they can keep doing what's killing them. But I think when he realized and realized that it was like a legit use, he gave me some. So
Yeah. Thank you, guys. That's a great idea. I'm going to go give him some right now as soon as we get back.
yeah.
livingonadime.com. We love you guys. We will be back Wednesday talking about 1947 prices versus today's prices because stuff was so much cheaper back then.
You will be shocked.
Wait till you see how cheap it was. 11 cents for bread.
What?
So it was definitely cheaper, wasn't it?
Was it?
Oh,
Join us and find out.
see you guys Wednesday.
Bye.